Welcome in Broncos country, orange and blue today. Cecil, Lammey, Andrew Mason, Tuesday show. Oh, God. Some stuff to go over with this Broncos team that doesn't make me happy. Some stuff to go over with this Broncos team that is quite revealing. What is it? What do we talk about? We're going to bring it up all and then some. It is orange and blue today, and we're here to talk about it with you. Mace is traveling, but we do have some video to play from one Andrew Mason, so we love and appreciate that. We're going to get to it all on today's program. Let's talk about this Broncos team preparing for a pretty damn big game. This is a big one. An absolutely big one for the Denver Broncos. So again, here to talk about it all with you. And I want to hear from you in the chat room today about your thoughts on this Broncos team. How do they get things right? How do they make sure that they get this big win? Again, going over all that and then some on today's program. It is orange and blue today here on a Tuesday, and we'll be, of course, dialed in at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, coming up tomorrow and Thursday, of course, out there to bring you that Broncos information, as Mason and I definitely do. So we've got some numbers to go over for Bo Nix, and what does it mean for the Denver Broncos? A numbers piece from Andrew Mason that was available.
Thanks, Cease. Well, we're due things.
Sorry, we're not getting to Mace yet. It's a live show, everybody. But we will get to Mace in just a little bit. And we're going to talk about the numbers piece that Andrew Mason wrote at denversports.com. I urge you to go there and to check it out and to see what Mace wrote about the numbers you need to know about Bo Nix. Everyone wondering what's going on with Bo. Why has Bo taken a step back? Why are there things going on with Bo Nix? Plus, the news item that nobody wanted to get to and nobody wanted to hear about when it comes to JK Dobbins. So we're going to do some numbers piece. We're going to talk some JK Dobbins. We've got it all for you and then some. And what do the Broncos do to kind of counteract this Dobbins situation? That's something that we are going to discuss. So on today's show, we've got a ton to get to and a ton to talk about when it comes to Bo Nix and just the reason why. I think that's the main thing that everyone is kind of looking for here. And like, why are we now seeing these struggles with Bo Nix when last year we didn't see those struggles with Bo Nix, and Bo Nix was simply fantastic? And you love to see it, and you want to see more of it. And in fact, I was the one saying before the season, no sophomore slump. This is going to be a sophomore jump from one Bo Nix. That was completely wrong. That was something that was not close to being correct, was not what the Broncos have seen from their young quarterback. And it's not what the Broncos fans want to see from Bo Nix in this slump in 2 games, basically. In 2 games where he hasn't looked the same. Like, what's the story with Bo Nix? And again, I urge you to go to denversports.com. I want you to check out and find Mace's numbers piece. It is there. And again, there's some news about JK Dobbins that isn't good. Nothing official, but it's something to definitely kind of examine and see what in the world the Denver Broncos are going to do. So Andrew Mason wrote it. Bo Nix after week 10, what the numbers reveal. Bo Nix has regressed back to the form of the first month of his rookie season. Now, when that happens, I think me, you, Mace, all of us can go, well, that's a rookie. He's learning his way. It's a Sean Payton offense. It's super complicated. He'll figure it out. The first month of Bo Nix's rookie season, and even further past that, I was willing to give him a ton of grace. And then you saw the explosion from week 5 on, and even in the playoffs. Bo could have played better, but it's a playoff game, wild card game. It was good they got there. Love the throw to Troy Franklin. But Bo Nix entering year 2, you're thinking, wow, I mean, this guy really surged in, that second half of his rookie season. He's going to pick up where he left off, and he just hasn't done that. So Again, in this numbers piece, there's 3 numbers to go over that Mace did. 39.3, 71.6, and 9.7. What do those numbers mean? We're going to get into all that. But first, let's hear from our guy, Andrew Mason, about what these numbers mean about Bo Nix.
Thanks, Cecil. Well, where do things stand for Bo Nix if we really dive into the numbers? It's a mixed bag. So coming out of last Thursday, he was 20th of 32 quarterbacks in EPA per play. Coming out of Sunday, he was 18th of 32 quarterbacks in QBR. So a little bit below the average, but certainly somewhere in that middle tier. But it's how he's getting to those numbers that you could say there's some concern with. And that's why you take a look at success rate in particular. And in particular, success rate over the last 5 games. And that's where you take a look at success rate and say, there's a concern here. So I wrote about this at denversports.com. You can read about it here, but I'll dive into it. 39.3. That's his success rate over the last 5 games. Not only is that not good, but that is the lowest 5-week success rate of his career since the first 5 games of his career. So think about that for a moment. Bo Nix, in terms of success rate, and that's a 5-week sample size that includes that into the sample size, and he still has a success rate of 39.3%. That's the worst since the first 5 games of his career. So you factor that in, and he's still, by that metric, regressed back to where he was the first 5 weeks of his career. That right there is a concern. It's testament to the inconsistency of his play, to some degree the inconsistency of the offense as well. And his season-long success rate, 41.6% among 32 eligible quarterbacks. It's ahead of only 2 in the NFL, 2 eligible quarterbacks. And those quarterbacks that he's ahead of heading into Sunday's play were Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel, and those 2 are rookies. So again, the consistency is what you're concerned about. We've seen that Bo Nix has what it takes when it matters most, and he has what it takes when the offense is in 2-minute, which goes back to a discussion that if you've been watching this show, you've seen quite a bit. This conundrum here that when Sean Payton goes tempo, Bo Nix is effective. When it slows down, when it's on schedule, but he's subbing guys in and it's more deliberate, the offense isn't as effective. So you have this tug of war. You've got kind of the battering ram, the competing interests here, that what is effective for Nix isn't necessarily what Sean Payton wants to do because he prefers to get his ideal personnel set in there. The other thing, of course, that comes into play, we talk about Bo Nix's footwork and how that's leading to a drop in accuracy. Nowhere is that more apparent than on his deep ball. We see it on the film. The numbers bear that out. According to Next Gen Stats, Bo Nix's passer rating on deep balls this year, 71.6. That's 23rd of 33 among quarterbacks. And that's an alarming drop. Last year, his deep ball passer rating was 108.3. That was 5th in the NFL. So in terms of deep ball efficiency, Bo has literally gone from one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL to one of the least efficient. So he's gone from top 5 to bottom 3rd right there. And that affects everything the offense can do. Now, are the receivers playing a role in that? To some degree, not completely, but somewhat, because you are seeing drops. Now, that being said, the biggest culprits on drops this year aren't guys going deep. It's been short to intermediate, because we'll get into drop rate here and talk about that, because that's another key number to discuss. 9.7% of Bo Nix's passes have been dropped by Broncos receiving targets this year. That's the third highest rate heading into Sunday's play among quarterbacks with at least 100 attempts. So that's third highest of 34 quarterbacks. And the two biggest culprits on a percentage basis are Evan Engram, who came into Sunday with the worst drop rate among 39 tight ends with at least 20 passes targeted to him. One drop every 5.6 catchable passes. And then, at running back, Tyler Bidet, 4 drops in 14 catchable passes and 18 times targeted overall. Among 215 NFL players with at least 10 catchable passes going into Sunday, Tyler Bidet had the worst drop rate in the NFL. And now that may become something that matters even more, because with JK Dobbins emerging from last week with a foot injury, and we'll get some clarity perhaps on Wednesday as to whether we see him on the practice field or not. If we don't see J.K. Dobbins out there for practice on Wednesday, all of a sudden Tyler Bidet becomes somebody who becomes far more important and perhaps becomes the guy the Broncos are going to have to rely on an every down basis, because with R.J. Harvey still not there in terms of pass protection, it's possible that if J.K. Dobbins is down, Tyler Bidet becomes the one who ends up leapfrogging RJ and becoming the guy that you see in an every down type of situation, or at least in situations where you are expecting the potential for more pass protection, because RJ Harvey is still coming along there. So certainly Tyler Bidet is going to have to clean that up, and the pressure will be on him if he's asked to contribute more than he has in a limited role so far this season. So drop rate shows that some of the issues are on the pass catching targets, and certainly Evan Engram with that high drop rate, that's not something the Broncos want to see. Marvin Mims Jr. and Troy Franklin, by the way, in terms of wide receivers, they are squarely in the middle of wide receivers among 73 wide receivers with at least 20 catchable passes this season. Mims and Troy Franklin, they're 36th and 37th in drop rate, but Courtland Sutton, he's 57th of 73 in drop rate. He has dropped one pass of every 11.3 catchable passes, so he has to improve his drop rate. By the way, heading into Sunday, the NFL wide receiver with the worst drop rate among those who had at least 20 catchable passes, old friend Jerry Jeudy, now with the Cleveland Browns. So that's a little note. Jerry Jeudy, he curbed the drop problems for a few years, but it looks like those drop issues for Jerry Jeudy that he had way back as a rookie, they're back now that he is coming off a Pro Bowl season with the Cleveland Browns. Cease.
And there we go. Oops. Andrew Mason, everybody, as I'm figuring out how to click buttons. Welcome into Orange Blue today. Thanks to Mace for going over his numbers piece. We've got some news potentially with JK Dobbins, and it's not good news. More after a word from our sponsor. Today's episode of Orange and Blue Today is presented by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law was founded by Dr. Joseph Ramos, an attorney and ER doctor, to provide exceptional care to those injured in accidents. With a unique understanding of both medicine and law, the Ramos Law team is built to fight for you every step of the way. Experience the Ramos Law difference. Contact them today at ramoslaw.com. Okay, well, we had kind of thought about this, nothing but rumblers and rumors, until We saw that from our buddy Chris Thomason, Denver Gazette. Broncos, I'm told, are considering what to do with running back JK Dobbins and his foot injury. I was told placing him on injured reserve is being considered. This is the worst possible news that you could have at this time. We're going to know more tomorrow, perhaps. I would imagine that when we're out there at practice, you're going to see a DNP for JK Dobbins, and then Coach Payton isn't going to want to talk about it. That's what Coach Payton usually does, is he says, like Jordan Hudson, we're not talking about it. Like, that's what Payton does. That's probably what he'll do tomorrow. And part of me, I'll just be as frank as I can be, and I usually don't like getting this fired up in the afternoon after 4 hours of radio. But damn it, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at the Broncos, because you could have seen this coming. And I blame the Denver media. I blame Sean Payton. I blame George Payton. I'm just pissed off because you should have known that JK Dobbins, who has never played a full season, was not going to play a full season. Now, a few things to go over here. If it is injured reserve, it's 4 games, not 4 weeks. So don't throw in the bye as like, hey, it's only 3 games, guys, because they have the bye. No, it's 4 games, not 4 weeks. So if J.K. Dobbins is placed on injured reserve, then it's 4 games, including the bye, which would make it 5 weeks. And depending on the grade of the foot sprain, we know the hip drop tackle, whatever. But I'm pissed off because the trade deadline is done. There's really not a lot out there in free agency. There's not a lot on practice squads. Trust me, I've already looked, and I'll bring up some names here in just a little bit. But I'm pissed off that the Broncos weren't better prepared for this. You could have drafted 2 backs. You could have traded for even a late round pick for some back. Khalil Herbert's one I always throw out there. You didn't have to trade for Breece Hall. That's my point. You didn't have to give up a 3rd rounder to trade for Breece Hall. You could have given up a 7th rounder for Khalil Herbert or whatever. Somebody like that. And instead, you sit on your hands because you've got Tyler Bidet, who, as Mace pointed out in his drops, like all he does is drop passes. I have not been impressed with Tyler Bidet at all, and it's no offense to him, or I guess I should say, get as offended as you like. Tyler Bidet, you're not good at football, okay? This Broncos team needs you to be good at football. They're activating you over Jaleel McLaughlin, and I know Jaleel is chomping at the bit to get going, and part of me would like to see that. But again, Jaleel McLaughlin is as good as he can be. He can't be J.K. Dobbins great. The question becomes, can RJ Harvey, is he ready for 15 carries? You have 2 carries on the season, one against Dallas, one against Tennessee, that account for whatever 70% of his rushing yards on the season. They just haven't used him enough as a runner. Now with RJ Harvey, he's getting work as a receiver, which is great. We got to talk about it. But is he ready to break out like Travion Henderson did? Henderson having, 140-yard game, but also Henderson at the same time had gotten, top of my head, like 17 carries, 10 carries, then 17 carries for 140 yards. So the last 3 weeks with Ramondre Stevenson banged up, yes, they relied on others, a little bit of Antonio Gibson at times, a little bit of Terrell Jennings, and then lots of Travion Henderson this last week. Is RJ Harvey ready to do that? He hasn't got the warm-up games in the way that Travion Henderson got the warm-up games. This is Kansas City. It's the worst possible time to be missing the best part of your offense that you could have been ready for had you just made a move. And it doesn't mean anything bad about JK. Here's why I'm pissed off at George Payton. One, he didn't make a move, and it was clear, it's obvious that running back was the need on this team, like running back. Not Joker, and clearly RJ Harvey's the Joker, but running back. Who's the runner that you trust? Because right now it seems like they don't trust RJ Harvey. Could be wrong, and he has 150 yards against the Chiefs, and it's awesome. I'd love to see that. That'd be great. But we don't have much evidence that they trust RJ Harvey as a runner. We just don't. And I'm not going to do, pie in the sky like everything's fine. Everything's not fine. JK Dobbins may now be put on injured reserve and missing 4 games minimum. J.K. Dobbins probably isn't going to be there against the Chiefs, and that sucks. You need everybody. Not because the Chiefs are this unstoppable force. They can beat the Chiefs without J.K. Dobbins. It just gets a lot harder because J.K. Dobbins is that good. So I'm pissed off at George for not making a move, pissed off at Sean for I don't know, not playing Jaleel McLaughlin enough, not giving him a jersey when he just wants to go. And I'd like to see it with those 12 pounds of added muscle. I'd like to see Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm pissed off at the Denver media because it was just a couple of weeks ago. Everyone's falling all over themselves because JK Dobbins said, I want to be a Bronco for life, or I feel like I should be a Bronco forever, or whatever. We remember the comments. And everyone's going, woo, falling all over themselves. It's like, dude, get through the season and then let's talk. People in the media wanted to give him a damn extension like now. Can they pay JK Dobbins now? No. And I'm sorry to be that cold and that brash, but that's what football is. Football isn't a let's do you a favor type of game. It's a cruel game, especially for running backs. The old country song, Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, should actually be Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Running Backs, because it sucks and they use you up and then they throw you away. That's what happens. And it's not what I'm calling for. It's just my recognition of reality. The reality is you use up backs and you throw them away. And the reality is it was, I guess I shouldn't apologize because I really don't care. Get as offended as you like. I think it was stupid to start suggesting an extension for JK Dobbins. If he got through the entire year healthy, I'd have been like, yeah, I like that. I mean, JK, look at this, 1,200 yards, whatever the number is. JK Dobbins, I've said it before, I'll say it again. When healthy, a top 5 back in this league, he's never fully healthy. He was never going to be healthy. Injury prone, and I've argued with actual medical doctors about this, so what the hell do I know? I'm just a chucklehead on the radio. But when you have an injury and you continue having injuries, you're just going to get injured. Injury prone is real. Again, doctors don't really think that. Like, every injury is different. This is a 100% injury rate league. And you've shown the propensity to get banged up as a pro. And J.K. Dobbins is awesome. Nobody's saying he's not awesome. What I'm saying is not awesome is the Broncos aren't ready to be without J.K. Dobbins. And you may disagree and are all faith in RJ, which is awesome. I would love to have that faith in RJ Harvey. I was the guy calling for RJ Harvey to do more. They're using him as a receiver. He needs to be used as a running back. Had you been mixing in RJ Harvey, again, back to the Travion Henderson thing, and I might have the carries wrong, so don't at me, bro. But like if it's 17, 10, and 17 for 140, like he had a period where he was ramped up. RJ Harvey, why haven't you been working him in? If you have a limit, there's like a ceiling on JK Dobbins carries, and it's about 20. But a lot of the times with Sean, it's like 15. He gets to 15 carries. That's all he wants to use them. Well, if that's the case, and you run 60 offensive plays on average, the NFL average this year is 61. It's down from what it used to be in the high 60s. It's 61. So let's just say 30 plays rushing, 30 plays passing. If JK is getting 15, you have another 15 carries. 5 for Bo Nix, 10 for RJ. Have they given RJ Harvey those looks? No. So I'm mad at Sean for not using RJ more as a runner. I'm mad at George for not being better prepared to have someone ready you can trust for an injury-prone veteran back. And don't tell me RJ Harvey's ready, because he's not. They haven't shown that. They haven't shown they trust him. And I hope to hell that RJ Harvey has 150 yards, 120 yards, 75 yards. Give me a number. I want the kid to look great against the Chiefs, but you just made it harder on yourselves without JK Dobbins because you haven't fed RJ enough on the ground. Tyler Bidet can't play. Sorry. He has shown no ability to even be on the field, even in a limited role. You don't need 3 backs. You need 2. Those touches for Tyler Bidet should just be RJ Harvey touches. Jaleel McLaughlin can't get on the field, and McLaughlin has talent. Now, I think it's specialized. He's more of a scat back than he is like a halfback or a running back, but I could use a scat back, especially when Tyler Bidet's doing officially nothing for you. So I don't mean to be cruel and to be crass. And again, usually I save this for the post-game show or for Dover and Cecil, but I'm really, really upset because anybody could have seen this coming. This is not a surprise. JK Dobbins is hurt, guys. Shocker. And I hope we got great news and he doesn't have to go on injured reserve and maybe he can miss the Chiefs game and then have a bye week and then be back the week after that. All of my frustrations, I'm not going to say much ado about nothing. This Chiefs game is not nothing. Don't think for a second this Chiefs game is nothing. Don't think for a damn second this Chiefs game is nothing. This Chiefs game is big. It's not a must win. Season's not over if you lose. But it's a must look good And with JK Dobbins, you look good. Without JK Dobbins, I have no idea what they're going to show. Yes. We all believe in RJ Harvey, but for the love of God, why don't they? I haven't looked at the chat room yet. I suppose I'll look over there now. Michael saying Jaleel is a better 1-2 punch with RJ. I would agree with that. Michael, if you had Jaleel and RJ, I would really like that. I'd really appreciate that. That's better than giving Bidet more touches. Why has Bidet gotten those touches? I want to see Jaleel out there. I want to see Jaleel play. Tommy says it's a must win. It's a must look good. You could lose. Let's say it's 31-30. Broncos lose. Last second field goal. Chiefs win. You still looked good. And again, the season isn't over, right? And Tommy, appreciate you as always, but I disagree with that agreeably, which we can do, by the way. Shocker, guys. We can disagree without hating each other. I just disagree with this must-win thing. Your season's not over. It's a must-look-good game. That's for sure. And RJ Harvey with Jaleel, I think, would help you look good. KK saying if Bo was playing better, it wouldn't be as bad. Yeah, because then you go, oh, well, you just go a little pass happy and RJ doing his thing, but then Bo's balling out, and here we go, Bo Nix. Like, this is why you need Bo Nix to play better. You need Bo Nix to be comfortable. You need Bo Nix to be dialed in with what this offense wants to do. So that's the thing with this Broncos team that you need to see. Darren saying Jaleel should have been out there from the beginning instead of Bidet. Could easily make that argument as well. Not only because of the lack of production for Tyler Bidet, but just because how talented Jaleel McLaughlin is. He's added 12 pounds of muscle to his upper body. I bet he could break a tackle this year. And I don't mean that to be facetious, but he wasn't breaking tackles ever, except the one play that was called back last year. Like, I think now he could break tackles. I think now he could explode onto the scene, that big-time playmaking ability that Jaleel McLaughlin has. Listen, this thing is too critical to let slip away. Got to win the division, says Rickus Rick. That's right. And you've got that lead on the Chiefs. So, again, dropping this one doesn't just give them the division. But the way this offense has been playing, it doesn't give you confidence. You have 2 down games. Ashley, what's up, Ashley? Says, Bo needs a redemption game. I would love that. Now, if you look at, and there'll be a Dover and Cecil clip coming up on this later on our Denver Sports YouTube. Thank you for like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a vid. About how the Bills just ran it down the Chiefs' throat. That's the way you beat a Spags defense, is you run them and you beat them into submission. The Broncos can't do that. And they can't do that without JK Dobbins. Dobbins is that key. Again, would love to be wrong about RJ Harvey, but they haven't trusted Harvey yet. It's not my opinion on Harvey. And it's so weird, opinions and reactions, because I'm labeled the RJ Harvey guy. And then I say after week 6, like, why isn't he doing more? And then I'm labeled the RJ Harvey hater. I don't really care. I just need everyone out there to know they don't trust RJ Harvey yet. Maybe that changes this week and Harvey gets 20 carries and it's amazing. I would love to see it, but I would have liked to have seen clues. Call me finicky, if you will. So, and Lorenzo saying JK hurts because of his pass pro. Yeah, he's so trusted. Now, and the thing is, and this is what stinks, but it's true, Tyler Bidet is trusted in his pass pro. Jaleel must not be trusted in his pass pro, and RJ, from behind the scenes, and I've asked people off the record, like, is he okay? And he's been getting better behind the scenes in mental preparation, and then just physical, like, want to and design of how you're going to block in pass protection. They are happier with RJ Harvey there. So that's the thing. I look at this and I go, damn, this sucks. This absolutely sucks without JK Dobbins. Most likely, hopefully we get some more information tomorrow. Chris says, nice shirt, sir. Thank you. It's grunt style. My son's in the Army. It's Veterans Day. So thank you out there to all your veterans, and my son's in Special Forces. So don't really get to talk to him a whole lot, which is, it's the most difficult thing I've had to deal with. And again, I know what he's dealing with as a member of Special Forces. That is much more traumatic and stressful than what I have to deal with as a father who doesn't get to talk to my son very often because he's, I think they call it temporary top secret is what the wording I've been told is. So anyway, it is Veterans Day. Before I get out of here, since I'm ranting about this team and the JK Dobbins stuff, it just pisses me off. I will change my mood and I will change my energy and I will say thank you. Thank you to everyone out there that has served, that is serving right now. If you're watching this show, let's go Broncos. And we appreciate you very much. I'm a chucklehead that talks about football, a game. I hopefully entertain, I hopefully distract some of y'all from the heavy stuff that's going on out there, and make no mistake about it. There's plenty of heavy stuff. I've mentioned it on this show before, dealing with a couple of family members with inoperable cancer. So that's not fun. So hopefully I, as a talking head, provide some entertainment. But I know that the men and women in our armed forces that protect our borders and protect our interests and all the things that Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Space Force, that they do, like, there's no way I could do that. And I have nothing but love and respect and appreciation for all of our service members, because at many times it's a thankless job. At many times it's an overlooked job. I mean, so many people are just going to, look at their phones or rage tweets or something, TikTok, whatever. People will be into themselves because of these things. It's an incredibly narcissistic society. People forget about the soldiers that help us do these things, even trivial things like talk about football, raise his hands, or, goes on TikTok about comic books or whatever. So thank you. Because we couldn't do it without you. I certainly couldn't do what my son does. I couldn't do what our military armed forces people do. So I just appreciate them very much. And I thank them and I pray, which is a positive thought. Don't give me the stupid prayers don't work. I hate that because that's actually the opposite of reality, which a positive thought, how you think and feel affects how you behave. So everyone think positively. The math is simple. Anyway, I'm ranting. I will stop ranting for now. But damn, this JK Dobbins news sucks. It just sucks. Hopefully we get some better news. Hopefully it's not injured reserve. And hopefully the Denver Broncos can get their centerpiece back. So we'll know more tomorrow, maybe. Sean Payton won't talk about this unless he's flat out just put on IR. Sean Payton will not talk about this. Bottom line. Anyway, I'm Cecil Lammey. I rant from time to time, and I appreciate everyone out there. Thank you all for being my friends. Follow Andrew Mason on the socials at Mace Denver. I'm at Cecil Lammey. OBT is a what? That's right. It's a BFD. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned and stay frosty.